Need my laptop. Oh boy. All right. Let's see. This thing keeps on popping up on my phone, which is what I'm currently streaming on, and it says that I'm not connected. So please, in the comments, let me know if you can hear me. That would help out a lot. If you cannot, then we have a problem, and I would like to solve that problem as soon as possible. Hello, Saints NASCAR fan 14. Hello there, Evan Thomas. Okay, you're saying you can hear me? That's good. All right. So obviously, NASCAR fan 93-100. Hello. Bubba Wallace deserved his Talladega win. Changed my mind. I agree with you. So yeah, I guess we'll start off by talking about the win itself. So Bubba Wallace gets his first career win at Talladega. Rain shortened one, but a win is a win. And the thing is, I 100% think he deserved that win. He drove up through the field. He drove up to the front, held onto the lead, made some good moves, good blocks, aggressive blocks, but good blocks to hold onto the lead. Didn't wreck anyone for it. Didn't put anyone into the wall for it. Avoided some wrecks earlier in the day. I think it was a well-deserved win. And, we look at, he's not the first driver to ever have a rain-shortened win. This year, Chase Elliott had a rain-shortened win. I've been at 2 rain-shortened races in 1 year. That's crazy to think. Dale Earnhardt Jr. has won rain-shortened races. Carl Edwards has won a rain-shortened race. Jeff Gordon has won a rain-shortened race. So if you're saying that Bubba's doesn't count, you got to say that all these other guys who've had rain-shortened wins, that those don't count either. But yeah, I mean, I'm super happy for him. Being there, like literally at the freaking pit box, is one of the coolest things I've experienced. Literally just standing there, like watching it all unfold and stuff was super cool to see those emotions, to see how happy everyone was for that team. Just, the anticipation, everyone knew it was about to be called, that race, just standing there kind of, it's like, when's it going to happen? When's it going to happen? They finally call it. To see the emotion from the team was really, really cool to see. So, yeah, well-deserved win if you ask me, but obviously this year hasn't been the greatest year for them. They've struggled for sure. Just overall, because it's a first-year team. They're using old equipment, Levine family racing equipment. It's the last year of the Gen 6, so there's no point of going and spending a bunch of money on new parts for this car when it's never going to be used again after this year. So they're probably focusing on the next-gen car, if I had to guess. So next year, I think is going to be their first big opportunity to shine. And the fact that they have a win under their belt in just their first year, I think is a huge deal. So, yeah. First time in 67 years, the 23 car won in the Cup Series. I thought I had seen that somewhere. So, yeah, that's 67 years. That's a long time. I mean, you just think about the time of NASCAR. It started, 48, 49? So over 70 years, maybe, if my math is correct. I think over 70 years. My math is usually wrong, but just thinking of all the drivers who have won, I think Bubba Wallace is like the 198th different winner in the NASCAR Cup Series all time. You think about, all the different car numbers, the different sponsors, team owners and stuff that have gone, and all this stuff. So you think about that, it's pretty cool to think about for sure. Just all the different numbers that have won in NASCAR. I mean, it's kind of like the scoreagami for the NFL. It's like what score has never won before. For NASCAR, I feel like it's what number has never won before, what number hasn't won in a long time. The 23 car, as you said, NASCAR fan, 9300, 67 years. That's a long time. The 23 car hasn't been run every single race, every single year. I don't think any car has. So, yeah, it's been a while. It used to be a BK racing car, which, would be a miracle if they got a top 10, which they did once. And it was like literally they were celebrating like they won. So, yeah, this has been their first opportunity to win, and the 23 won a race. So, Yeah, big deal for them. And speaking of ending long dry spells, McDonald's back in victory lane for the first time in 27 years. How about that? Last time was Jimmy Spencer. I can't remember where, but it's been 27 years, 1994. Jeff Gordon, I think at the time, they said it was in between his first and second win, so he only had one career win at the time. Jimmy Johnson had never made a NASCAR Cup Series start. I mean, we could go through all these NASCAR things that are going on. Heck, Chase Elliott probably wasn't born. Ryan Blaney probably wasn't even born. Bubba Wallace might not have been born yet. I mean, all these young drivers that are currently in NASCAR competing for the championship, winning races, they probably weren't even born the last time McDonald's won a race. You know, obviously, guys like Kevin Harvick, Kyle Busch, Kurt Busch, they were born, but talking about the younger drivers on the bigger teams, you get my point. But it's a big deal just all around. Michael Jordan is now a NASCAR Cup Series winner as an owner. Denny Hamlin, he's won so much in his career as a driver. He's now a winner as an owner. I mean, just the amount of storylines that there are from this race weekend, just in the Cup Series is a lot. But then outside of that, you look at Saturday, both those races. In the Truck Series, you see Tate Fogelman winning a chaotic last lap. Spins out John Hunter Nemechek. Barely beats Tyler Hill to the line. Oh my gosh. I was on pit road, and, you know, prior to the day, I'd said Tyler Hill's going to win because, I'm a big Timmy Hill fan, and, I was like, it'd be so cool, and it's Talladega. Why not pick him? And on that last restart, he was restarting fifth, and I was standing there, like, just kind of like, what if he wins this thing? And I was kind of thinking to myself, if he does win, like, do I go around telling everyone I picked Tyler Hill to win, or, like, how do I approach this? That last stretch on the front, the tri-oval, he's there, and I'm like, John Hunter, Tate Fogelman, put each other in the wall, nothing violent, but, just kind of spin each other out. I don't care. And then I saw Nemechek spinning. I was like, oh my gosh, it's going to happen. Tyler Hill's going to win. And, I'm trying to keep myself calm and composed because I'm standing next to some photographers who I'm sure have been doing this a while. And I'm like, oh my gosh, who won? And I'm looking at the big screen. The guy next to me is like, I don't know, the 12, I think. And I was like, oh, crap. But that was an incredible finish in the Truck Series race. John Hunter Nemechek, so close. But to see Tate Fogelman win was cool. Tyler Hill get a second place finish was cool. Xfinity race, some hard crashes in that one. But Brandon Brown, first career win. Random fact, so for me, I've been going to NASCAR races for 11 years, and prior to this weekend, I had never seen a first-time winner. And this past weekend, I saw 3 first-time winners, which was really cool. But Brandon Brown getting his first career win. It's such a fun race, but such a, boring ending. But it's still really cool to see Brandon Brown win, to see that emotion from that team and from Brandon Brown himself was really cool. But yeah, so let's see. I was a year old the last time McDonald's won. Wow, it's been a while. Been a while since McDonald's won. This will be in the vlog, sights and sounds, whatever you want to call the video I'm going to post tomorrow. So if you didn't see the announcement in the community post thing, I said that. So tonight I'm going to edit just my footage. I have so much footage on my phone just from this weekend. So Saturday was Xfinity and Trucks. I'm going to post that tomorrow morning. And then tomorrow night I'm going to post the Cup Sunday and Monday. I'm going to post that stuff, the stuff I got there. So I got to actually ask a few drivers questions. Chase Elliott, Kyle Busch, Brad Keselowski, Kyle Larson. And then also, got to be on the pit wall for the race. Was next to Larson's stall. That was a project I was doing for a class actually, but I'll kind of explain that later. I'll post that probably on Friday. What else? Oh, I did a lot. I was in the garage, so I got some footage from the garage. Victory Lane, obviously, for Sunday, or Monday, technically. So I did the first Victory Lane, which was the rain Victory Lane, and then I stayed like 3 hours after the race, and they actually went to the real Victory Lane, and so I was there for that, and there was barely anyone there, so I was like 3 feet away from the car and the celebration, which was pretty cool. I'll post all that video stuff tomorrow night. So that's a quick rundown of tomorrow what's going to be posted there. So yeah, back to this. What's up? Burning Rubber, how you doing? Long time since the live stream. I have an important question regarding the race. All right. Since you were there, how was the atmosphere like for the Cup Series? Knowing it was a playoff race, was the intensity crazy knowing they postponed the race to Monday? So, Sunday, just because the forecast, the weather, it already rained. The feeling was there that the race was never going to start. It rained all morning. It rained in the early afternoon. So, there was no kind of intense or no hype really. The grandstands, the crowd, they were cheering and stuff for their drivers during driver intros, during the national anthem. But, the down on the pits in the garage, it was just kind of a sense of we're probably coming back on Monday. Obviously teams and crew members, they got dressed up and stuff. They put on their fire suits and stuff, but they knew they weren't racing. So Sunday was kind of not a dead vibe, but it was kind of like we're going to be back tomorrow. Like, there's no point of getting hyped and excited. We're not even going to fire the engines. So, or actually they did fire the engines. But, so they fired the engines. I actually forgot about that. And, lap 2, I was like, okay, this might actually happen. I didn't think it was going to happen. And literally on pit road, I'm standing next to an official, and in my head I'm like, well, I guess we're going today. So I was wrong on that I didn't think we were going to get the race, and I was shocked that we were doing pace laps. But lap 2, they come down pit road, they do the check, and I'm like, well, oh my gosh, we might start this thing. We're definitely not going to finish it today, but we're going to start it. And right as the last car exits pit road to start the final pace lap, it starts pouring rain on the pit road, and the NASCAR official saying that to me, he's like, you got to be kidding me. Like, he was so frustrated. Not frustrated, but he was like, oh, we were so close, that kind of thing. And I was like, well, it was nice trying today, I guess. But, at that point, everyone knew it was over for Sunday. But, yeah, I gotta answer these questions quicker. But Monday, it didn't rain all morning. It rained on the way to the track for me. I'm about an hour away from the track. So, it was about an hour drive. It rained the first half. It didn't rain the second half. It was sunny at the track when I got there. It was actually sunny all morning. And so, just walked through the garage a bit, just kind of checked up. The garage was pretty quiet on Monday morning just because, they've already done inspection. You can't really work on the cars and stuff. So the teams were there to uncover the cars and stuff and just kind of check them out, but no one was working on their cars really. No one was doing anything too crazy. Some teams did fire up the engines, just kind of run some checks, I guess, but nothing really insane. Then the race starts. I'm just trying to think back. We all knew that the race was going to start by that point because it had been sunny. The radar looked decent for the time. There was a chance of rain for the next hour or so after we started, but it started good. There was a red flag somewhere in there, lap 70 or so. Larson crashed, and that was like right in front of me. So I got that on camera. If you didn't see that already, got all the pit stops, got all the repair. Being right there was super cool. Just to see that, to hear what they were saying during the repair process, that was really cool. Kind of something I had never been a part of before. Just the behind the scenes stuff is really cool. Stuff that's not really shown on TV. Like, you see them using the hammer to hit the car and stuff, repair the car. But before the race, the way that they kind of prepare, they got a whole bumper ready just in case they get in a crash. They got all these parts ready. They're looking at for everything. They're doing their warm-up, stretches, whatever routine they have. The setup that goes into a pit box before the race that's not shown. I think that's something that needs to be shown and talked about a little bit more, because that process is extremely cool to see unfold, to see all the pit crew members and all the team members kind of set that up. It's a really cool process. And just pit road before the race, you got all the drivers getting in the cars, and then just everyone walking back. Saw Cliff Daniels, Alan Gustafson on pit road walking back after going, talking to their drivers before the race. They came back down pit road. We're just kind of, getting ready and stuff, just kind of getting mentally prepared for the race. So that was pretty cool to see. Then yeah, back to the wreck. Yeah, saw a wreck right in front of me, and then saw all the damage repaired, and then yeah, I could go on and on, but yeah, the intensity was there for sure. And you know, the intensity picked up around lap 90, which was about 4 laps before the halfway point, and around lap 80 or so is when a dark cloud started to move in, like a really big dark cloud. And so in my head, I'm like, they're going to start wrecking each other because that dark cloud looks like it's about to start raining any minute. It's literally over 1 and 2. It's over half of the front stretch. Like, how is this not rain yet? And then finally, you know, it did rain after a while. But yeah, the intensity was there for sure. Do you watch the NWP? I do not. I've heard about it. I've seen some clips from it, but I do not watch it often. So that's going to be a no. But so proud of the awesome job done by Darrell Bubba Wallace. Most don't know he passed 20 cars for the win. That is something that is, you know, it's being talked about for sure. You know, the reaction to his win, I don't want to say I was shocked about, but, you know, the media and stuff, you know, they were pretty positive about it for the most part, which didn't surprise me. You know, it was a historic win for Bubba and, of course, the team too, but, you know, Bubba being the first African-American driver to win in over, 60 years, 50 years. It's a really big deal for NASCAR and the first one to be celebrated because when Wendell Scott won, it was during a time where, you know, people of color weren't celebrated. You know, he didn't get the trophy. He didn't get to celebrate the win. But Bubba got to celebrate the win yesterday. He got to celebrate with his team. He got to go to victory lane. He got a freaking 130-pound trophy. So it was a really big deal for him to win that race. It didn't matter how he went. It didn't matter if that race went the full distance, rain shortened, if it was fog shortened, lightning shortened, however he won, it's a well-deserved win. He had to work his butt off to get up through the field, and I don't think enough people appreciate that. I think a good amount. I was surprised by the fan response, actually, on the social media that I saw, on the comments to my videos that I posted. There was much more positive than negative, which I kind of, you know, usually I like Bubba, I really do, but the fact of the matter is that he gets a lot of, you know, hate comments and stuff, whether it's a video I post or, you know, it's something on Twitter, something on Instagram, Facebook. There's a lot of people who don't like him, and they let their voices be heard in the comments of these different social media pages. And usually in the past, when I post a Bubba Wallace video, there's a bunch of comments, oh, Bubba Smollett, oh, Bubba, he's a fraud, he's a terrible person. There was still some of that, which is disappointing to see that people, you know, they're misinformed about what happened last June. You know, I could go over that again. I feel like I've been over that a million times, you know, just giving the details. But people, I don't even want to, I'm going to get too frustrated over it. But, you know, there was more positive than negative. I want to be positive here because, you know, there is a lot of negativity in this world. We need to be positive sometimes, but there was a lot of positive response to his win. You know, people were saying, oh, that's awesome. So happy for Bubba. He's worked so hard for this moment. So happy for him. You know, people were saying that, and it was really cool to see that. The positive response to his win, to see fans genuinely happy for him, to hear fans cheering for him. During the red flag, right before they called the race at his pit box, there were some fans behind the fence in the fan zone, and they were screaming like, yeah, Bubba, let's go. There's this one guy who was quite vocal. He was like, let it rain, Bubba, let it rain, and he's just screaming his throat. I thought he was going to lose his voice, but this dude kept screaming. He kept on letting the 2311 team know that he wanted them to win, and they eventually, I think they like tossed him a lug nut or something. But, you know, they were cheering for him. And once it happened, Bubba acknowledged the fans behind the fence. He high-fived, hugged his team, leaned over the pit box on the backside, and he was like, woo, let's go, that kind of thing. But, yeah, that was a really cool moment to witness, you know. A first win, a historic win, you know, not only just to, like, be there for that. You know, I was going to be at Talladega regardless. But, like, if I was in the grandstands, that would have been cool. But, you know, to be, like, on pit road at the pit box as it happened, to be in victory lane, that's one of the coolest things I've ever been a part of, if you ask me. And you know, for that being my first time at a race, like credentialed, like to be, where's the thing? Where's the thing? Look at this. This thing says, it says essential. I am essential. For 3 days, I was essential. But to be a part of that for my first time ever credentialed for a race, for that to happen, a historic first time winner, that was like one of the coolest things I got to experience. And yeah, I don't know if I told you guys this. I think I posted something on Twitter maybe, but I actually got to give Bubba a fist bump and a congratulations after the race. So during the second celebration on Victory Lane, it was about 3 hours after the race, they went into the, what I call the proper Victory Lane, because they went to the garage Victory Lane because of the rain first. But so I was just kind of, I put my bag in my car and I was just kind of going back on track on the pit road and just kind of, you know, like reflecting on the weekend, taking some pictures of the track as no one was there, no cars, silence. It was just kind of a cool thing to just kind of soak in. Went and picked up a lug nut, because lug nuts are cool. I don't care how old I am. Lug nuts are cool. And especially this year. It's the last year we get these lug nuts. Oh man, I should have gotten more. Dang it, I wasn't thinking. My one regret from this weekend. And it's from Chase Elliott's stall too. So Chase Elliott fans out there. Yeah, but anyways, like I go and I see them pushing the car into Victory Lane. I was walking back to my car. I was in a call today, and I take a short video of it, and I'm like, cool. And then I'm like, I wonder if I can get into that Victory Lane, you know, just to kind of stand there, take some videos, pictures and stuff. And, you know, I was like, you know, if I'm going to get kicked out now, I'm going home anyways after this, so might as well try. And I turn around, and me and Bubba are walking into Victory Lane at the same time. And I was like, what's up, Bubba? Congrats on the win. And fist bumped him, and he went to Victory Lane. I went to Victory Lane, and that was a pretty cool moment that I'm really happy about. That was like the highlight of the day. There were a lot of highlights of the day, but that was really cool to actually, like, you know, see the winning driver and, you know, be like, what's up? Congrats. You guys know what I'm saying? But that was really cool. That was really, really cool. Yeah. That was epic, to say the least. Yeah. Back to the comments. Okay. Hello, David. How you doing? Yes, you like it, this race? If you're asking if I like the race, yes. I thought it was a solid race. There was four wide racing at some points. They raced cleanly. They did wreck a couple times, but, you know, they didn't destroy half the field by lap 100. They didn't flip any cars. They didn't, you know, send anyone to the infield care center for an extra amount of time. So it had its moments where it was chaotic, but it was a pretty tame Talladega race. This past spring was probably a little bit more tame for sure. There were less wrecks. There wasn't as much chaos, but, you know, for a normal Talladega race, like compared to last fall's race where there was like 18 cautions and there was only like 10 cars that finished on the lead lap or something, this year was much, much calmer. And I very much appreciated the racing. I thought it was a good race. Like, literally, it didn't matter who won that race. I would have been happy with the racing that day. For the people that say negative things about Bubba Wallace, they're heartless. You know, I'm hesitant to say, like, stuff, just, like, generalization because, you know, people take things, they twist words, all that stuff. But, I mean, it doesn't matter who it is. I feel like every driver at some point in their career, they're in the public eye, they got millions watching, they're going to get some type of negativity. They're going to get some type of hate comment. Even Chase Elliott, the most popular driver, people say bad things about him. Some people don't like Chase Elliott. That's the fact of the matter. Now, people, they don't like Bubba Wallace. Sometimes it's for different reasons. And, you know, I wish I could convince him otherwise. You know, like that Bubba's a good dude. He seems like a genuinely good dude who cares about other people. But some people just can't see it that way and don't see it that way. And unfortunately, you can't change people's minds. You know, you can try to talk to them, try to have a civil conversation. Some people don't want to have a civil conversation, but sometimes it's just difficult. So sometimes you just have to kind of smile and just say, hey, okay, we have a different opinion. Cool. You go your way, I'll go my way. I can't do anything about it. So Sometimes I guess the point of the story is it's not always worth it, like arguing with someone, because some people are so stubborn and set in their mindset, their belief, that it's really just not even worth trying to argue it, I guess. So I guess just pick and choose your battles, whatever that saying is. I like Bubba. He's a very great guy and a great driver. Yeah, he seems like a great guy. He's improving as a driver, I feel like. I feel like this year, as the year has gone on, they've gotten a little bit better as a team. Once again, they're in old equipment. I didn't expect them to do great this year. Heck, I didn't expect them to win a race this year, but they did just that. But I think next year is going to be a real test for them. That's going to be their first big test with the new car, everything reset back to zero for all the teams. So next year is going to be the real test for that team, how well they can do. And I think that's going to be when Bubba can fully prove himself as a driver. I think he has proven himself to be a decent driver. I'm not going to go to the terms of great yet. He is a Cup Series winner. You can't take that away from him. He is a NASCAR Cup Series winner. That is a huge deal for him, a huge confidence booster for him. So, yeah, that is a huge step for that team. And you can't take that away from him. And if you win a Cup Series race, you're a good driver. I don't care who you are. If you win a Cup Series race, you are a good driver. So you definitely can't call him a bad driver anymore. He now has a Cup Series win to back that up. And even prior to that, he had, 5, 6 Camping World Truck Series wins. So Bubba's proven himself that he is a good driver. I don't think he's a great driver. I don't think he's a championship level driver yet. But if he can take the proper steps and 2311 can give him the best equipment possible, maybe one day we could see that. But yeah, he's proven that he can win now. So big deal for him. 3 first times winner. That is awesome. It is awesome. Do you think Logano will win another race this year? Logano. I think Logano right now is currently the most underrated road racer. Every road course race we've gone to this year, it's been Chase Elliott, Martin Truex Jr., and Kyle Larson that have been talked about the most. And after that, Christopher Bell won at the Daytona Road Course, had a really good run at Road America. So those have been the 4 guys that have been talked about a lot. And I think the most overlooked is Joey Logano. He finished runner-up at the Roval last year. He's had some top 5s in road courses over the past year or so. Logano's only got 1 road course win, but I think he can definitely get it done this weekend. I think he can compete with Larson, Elliott, Truex. I'm not going to pick him to win, but I think if he did win, I would not at all be surprised. I think he's a very underrated road racer. He's really improved himself over the past 2 years on the road courses. But then you look ahead of the schedule, you look at Texas, Kansas, he won that race last year, but Martinsville's a really good opportunity for him. He's done really good there over the past few years. He just does really well there. So I think Martinsville and Roval are his best shots at winning again this year. That is too cool. I'm behind on comments, so I don't know what that's about, but whatever it is, cool. Something is cool. Yeah, I see what you mean about that. It's good for Bubba and also good for NASCAR. I've seen a lot of news media interviewing him and talking about his win, and also SportsCenter. Yeah, SportsCenter, the Today Show, Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp, their Fox Sports show, they talked about him. I don't think they talked to him, but they talked about him for a solid 10 minutes. And I didn't know that Shannon Sharp was educated somewhat on NASCAR. He wasn't just saying Bubba Wallace won a race and he beat guys. He was bringing up NASCAR history. He said Richard Petty, Junior Johnson, I think he said Cale Yarborough. I think he said the Allison brothers. I mean, this dude was talking about NASCAR history. He started talking about how NASCAR was going out west thanks to Jeff Gordon. I was like, oh my gosh, Shannon Sharp knows about NASCAR? I was shocked. I was like, oh, where did this come from, So that was really cool to see that he was a NASCAR fan, that he knows a little bit about NASCAR history. Yeah, I've watched a lot of those interviews, really cool to see. And oh my gosh, we have to talk about it. The puppy dog. Bubba's puppy dog. It's so cute. Asher, he was running around in Victory Lane, the Rain Victory Lane. They brought him in. So they first opened the door, and everyone's like, oh, puppy dog. And Bubba's taking his pictures. And he was taking his pictures with Denny Hamlin at the time, I think. And someone said, hey, Asher's here. And he's like, okay, one more picture with Denny. And they get the picture, and he turns, he's like, oh, puppy. And he's like, you know how everyone talks to a puppy dog or a dog, you know, with their high-pitched voice. And they're like, come here, puppy dog. You know, that kind of thing. And, you know, they had that moment. I posted that video yesterday if you didn't see that, or Monday. I posted it on Monday. It's my most recent video. I posted that. I'll probably put it in the vlog or whatever. But that was so cool. The dog was so cute. He was running around. They got a hat on him. It was so cute. But yeah, really cool moment there for Bubba, obviously, but also to get the dog in victory lane. That was really cool. And he got a bunch of pictures. That dog, Asher, he got a lot of attention too. So after the photographers left, Bubba and Asher posed for some more pictures, and I actually got to get pretty dang close to it. Took some pictures with my phone, so that was pretty cute. Good for, I've already read that. Oof, wow. Kyle Larson bad today. Yeah, Kyle Larson. He's never been a good super speedway. The English language can sometimes be tough, even when it's your first language. I think I just need a sip of Zaxby's. Okay. What was I saying? Oh, Kyle Larson. Yeah, he's never been a great super speedway racer. He's always had bad luck. He's always been involved in crashes, mechanical failure on lap 1 in the spring. I mean, the dude can win in anything you put him in, but he can't win at super speedways. He can win at Bristol. He can win at Michigan. He can win at Richmond. He can win at Texas, Charlotte, Sonoma, Watkins Glen, Talladega, and Daytona, though. He can't even sniff the win. Like, the dude just has awful luck, or he just doesn't know what to do at super speedways. He just can't do it. I mean, he's going to end up being like Truex. You know, Truex, he's won everywhere in his career, basically, but Truex just can't figure it out on the super speedways. I feel like that could be the same story for Larson, and, you know, we saw that once again this weekend. You know, Larson's a great talent, great young talent, superstar, but he just can't figure it out on the super speedways, and I don't know what it is. The dude's got arguably the most raw talent in the field, but super speedways, he just doesn't know what to. I don't know if it's that he doesn't know what to do, or if he just always gets involved in stuff, is at the wrong place at the wrong time. But in conclusion, Larson, super speedways, extremely bad combination, and it was once shown on Sunday again. Okay, back to the comments. Joey Logano has never made the Final Four in an odd number season. Yes, that is something. I was actually talking to my dad about that. We were talking about championship odds or something. I said, you know, I would say bet on Logano as an underdog, maybe. You know, if you were out there, you know, betting on a championship, a little bit lower odds, not like a Denny Hamlin or Larson, Logano maybe. But then I looked at the calendar here and I was like, nope. Not this year. Maybe he breaks the trend this year, but maybe not take that risk. The years that Logano has made the Final Four since this format was implemented, 2014, 2016, 2018, and 2020, he has never made it in an odd-numbered year. That is something I find extremely weird. Like, I don't know why, but he just can't do it in even or odd-numbered years. So maybe he breaks the trend this year. I don't know. We'll figure it out soon. Hello, NASCAR Engaged with Gage Man. How are you doing? Are you going to Texas Motor Speedway for the playoffs? I will not be going to Texas. Talladega was the last race I went to this year. Yeah. So I mean, obviously, a perfect world, I'd go to the rest of the races this season, but I can't. First of all, got class, got school I got to go to. Second off, money. That would be expensive. So, yeah, no. Unfortunately, no more NASCAR races for me this year. But I do look forward to going to some next year. Hopefully, I can get to more than I did this year. This year was the most I've ever been to in a single season. I've been to, let me think. I think I've been to 8 races this year. Both Talladegas in the Cup, Texas All-Star Coda, Xfinity Truck. So, yeah, 8 races this year. That is a personal record. If we can beat that next year, that'd be cool. But yeah, Talladega, I'll be at both of those next year. Texas All-Star, I plan on going. I want to go back to Coda. I would love to go back to Coda, but that would take some planning. If I, you know, if I could go to the Daytona 500, that'd be cool, but that'd be difficult to get to. So I'd say for sure Talladega races, for sure Texas All-Star. Those are three that I'm going to say that I'm 95% sure I'm going to. But outside of that, nothing's a lock. Once again, you know, obviously everyone wants to go to the Daytona 500. If I can get the money together, I would love to go to that. Coda, I would love to go back there and hopefully get a dry race. But yeah, so I'm going to say maybe go to something in the summer, try to make a trip out of it. But I don't know. I will say Talladega and Texas All-Star are 95%. Everything else is up in the air. I believe that with more confidence for Kyle Larson, I think he will win at Daytona or Talladega. I don't know, man. He could. If he won, no one would be surprised. But at the same time, I would be surprised because he's never been good there. But all you got to do is sit in the back for the first 90% of the race and let everyone wreck each other out. And maybe you can get up front. I told you I was going to be here, so here it goes. All right. Oh, you got a question later down. Okay, cool. I was like, what's this going to be? I was kind of confused there for a second. William Byron and Alex Bowman Final Four this year? No. They both have to win, and both of them cannot win. So one of them is getting eliminated at least. And unfortunately, I think it's going to be both of them. If one of them were to win, I think it would be Bowman. Bowman, for some reason, just excels at the Roval. He's got a runner-up finish. He's got like a third-place finish and a fifth-place finish. I mean, he's got something figured out at the Roval. I don't know what it is, but he has got it figured out at the Roval. I would lean towards him to win, but at least one of them is getting eliminated this weekend. Do you have Instagram? I do not have an Instagram. I have not done that. I don't really plan on it. You know, I know a lot of people who have Instagram. I know that's like probably the most popular social media, but Instagram just does not interest me at all. It's just pictures, you know, cool. Pictures are cool, don't get me wrong, but, you know, I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying. So I'll just say no. No Instagram. Do you think AJ will run more races in Cup in 22? Yeah. You know, he's got to win this year, which is still weird to think about because, you know, you think someone wins, they make the playoffs, but AJ part-time. He won at Indianapolis, which is really weird to think. So will he run in 22? They're saying part-time right now. I think they said that. Have they confirmed that? I can't remember. It was like 3 months ago when they announced that. But, do I think he will run? Like, honestly, he's competing for an Xfinity championship right now, and I very well think he could win it. Cindric's going to be out of the Xfinity Series next year, so that might make the championship easier next year. But I could very well see him going full-time in Cup, but I don't know. It's a toss-up. They got to get the charters. They might already have the charters. I can't remember, but that's a tough one to answer for sure. It's a good question, though. Good question. I don't know. I don't know what AJ's going to do. Yeah. Let's see here. Ooh, I'm caught up on questions. Woo. Yeah. Zaxby's, very underrated, by the way. LA Coliseum for the Clash. Your thoughts? My thoughts on the Clash at the LA Coliseum. People are already mad and saying the race is gonna suck. Like, at least give it a chance, people. You know, they haven't even had a car like sniff the area yet. golly, people just want to be negative sometimes, I swear, or just say something's going to be bad just for the heck of it. But I'm not going to sit here and tell you it's going to be the best race ever, the best clash ever, but it's an experiment, and I like that NASCAR's trying something new. People keep on saying, including myself, we want more short tracks. Let's do more short tracks. And then NASCAR goes and says, let's do a short track, and people are like, no, not that short track, no. Dude, make up your mind, people. Do you want a short track or not? I think it's going to be thrilling. Even if it's a crash fest, it's an exhibition race. It's not a points-paying race. So what if Michael McDowell wins it? He's not getting a playoff spot out of it. Let's do it. LA Coliseum Clash. Cool. I personally am looking forward to it. I am going to be screaming when the top two wreck each other for some weird winner. It's going to be great. Might have asked already, but where did you sit? I was Moss Thornton lower section. I was actually on pit road. Yeah. So I was the back half of pit road. Larson's stall was stall 32. I was in stall 31, which was an empty stall. It had like seats above it or something for like photographers. And I literally had access. I was standing on the end of the pit wall. I could have reached over if I wanted to and slapped Larson's car as it went out. I probably would have broke my hand, but I could have if I wanted to. I could have literally just went out and slapped his car. I was that close. So I stood on pit road for most of the Cup race. I went into the media center for a bit of the Xfinity and Trucks race, but for the most part, I was on the pit wall, like literally standing there. I could have sat on it if I wanted to, but I wanted to stand because I didn't want to risk, like, you know, leaning too much one way and falling over onto pit road and get kicked out or something stupid like that. So I stood. Plus, it was shaded, which was really nice. So, you know, you don't get soaked when it rains. I'm going to tell a story. I'm going to tell a story real quick, okay? You're going to have to deal with this sidetrack story because I really enjoy telling these stories about what I experienced this weekend because it was really cool and awesome. So, it starts raining. This was the last call for the Cup race. It starts raining. Bubba's leading. And it starts pouring. Like, you know, people are running because it's pouring and they don't want to get soaked. And I don't have my rain jacket on me because I'm just wearing my Dallas Cowboys polo shirt because they beat the Panthers and everyone in the industry is a Carolina Panthers fan. And, you know, I'm wearing khaki pants, tennis shoes, and a polo shirt. So I'm standing there filming everyone going down pit road and it starts pouring. And when it starts pouring, my first thought is I look at the time and I'm like, it's going to take them the full 3 hours to dry the track. Like, it gets dark here at 6:15. So, like, they might call this in, like, the next 5 minutes if the whole track is soaked, which it was. Like, pit road was already had standing water. And so I turn around, I sprint to the media center. Like, it wasn't that far away, but I sprint to the media center. Get in there, I grab my rain jacket, I put it on, I put my phone in my rain jacket pocket because it's a really good rain jacket and it protects the inside from getting wet. So my phone wasn't able to get wet, so I zip it up. And I'm at low battery at this point because I had burned all my battery recording Larson's pit stops. And so I'm like, they're about to call this. Like, I got to get this on camera. Like, this is a historic moment for NASCAR. I cannot miss this. So I jog down pit road. Everyone's packing things up. I'm, you know, weaving my way through, and I get to Bubba's pit stall, and I stand there for a minute just kind of, like, looking around, like, see what's the vibe, like, are they already celebrating, but they're packing their stuff up, and I was like, oh, I gotta go see if I can, like, get Bubba, you know, on camera. And so I go down to the end of pit road, and he's standing there, but there's, like, 30 photographers around him, so I can barely see him, and I'm like, oh, man, don't call this race now, I can't see, you know, selfishly, I was like, I can't see him, you know, I want to see his reaction. And eventually they fired the jet dryers back up after it stopped raining. Bubba walks to his pit box. I was like, that's perfect. That's perfect. I can be right there at the pit box. And I set myself up in this little corner next to their box behind the pit box where they store stuff. I was just kind of snugged in that corner. A couple photographers next to me, and, you know, they were like, how have they not called this yet? They were shocked that they hadn't called it yet. And, you know, I was like, yeah, I thought they would have called it too, but they haven't. And, you know, someone had eventually said, the next rain we get, it's over. Like, if it sprinkles a little bit, it's over. And soon there's a huge rain, like huge raindrops that start hitting us. You know, it hits my jacket, you can hear it. and it starts raining harder, and I'm like, this is it. They're going to call it. So I get my phone out of my pocket. I kind of got it under my armpit so it doesn't get wet. And I was ready. Like, I had my phone still on low battery, so I didn't turn it on, but I had my phone over the power button ready to swipe it. In the instant I hear a no way in the pit box, I swipe it, get it on camera. Everyone's freaking out. Water's going everywhere. I mean, it's already raining, so you're already wet, and everyone's spraying water everywhere, jumping up and down, screaming, celebrating. And so it was really cool to see. Bubba climbs down from the pit box. Tried to follow him a bit, couldn't get on pit road, but really cool to see. Victory lane was cool too. Second victory lane was honestly the coolest part of it. In terms of the two victory lanes. Victory lane in the garage was still cool and all, but the second victory lane, 3 hours after the race, about 5:45, it had stopped raining and it was a bit sunny, and so the team got an opportunity to go celebrate in the proper victory lane. Someone had brought it up on the team, I read later on, that they wanted to celebrate in victory lane properly. They wanted to, dump beer on each other, spray champagne, take pictures with the trophy with the car. And they got that opportunity and they pushed it in. I told you that story already. I got to, congratulate Bubba and stuff. And I turned the corner and there's a TV camera there and there's like 5 to 10 photographers in this one area. And I'm like, look at all this open space for me to literally be 2 feet away from the car. And so I set myself up and I just kind of am standing there like, this is cool. This is really cool. I've seen a lot of NASCAR races in the past, but I've never been this close to a race-winning car. I'm geeking out right now. I'm NASCAR nerding out, but dang it, I'm still a fan at heart. You got to let me be happy for this. And, I'm standing there, I'm taking pictures, taking videos and stuff, and it was just really cool to be right there, just kind of there for it, to be a part of the celebration in a sense, to see all the excitement. I don't know. It was really cool. That's something I'll never forget. It was really cool. I don't know what else to say other than it was really cool and epic. Next gen test at Charlotte Roval. Yeah, that's next week. Last time we talked about the next gen test, it was at Daytona. The heating issue was the biggest topic. During the media availability with the playoff drivers, that was actually a common question upon some of the reporters. They were asking the drivers about the next gen test and if they were concerned about the heat. Mixed answers. But yeah. Of course, Chase Elliott win this week. I tell you what, I think he's the favorite for sure. He's been really good at the Roval. Last year in 2019, he dominated those races. But I think Larson is going to be a real challenger to him. He's shown that he can win on the road courses this year. But I think the Roval has been Larson's strength. Back with Chip Ganassi Racing, he led a ton of laps there. He won stages there. And he proved that he was really good at the Roval. Something about the Roval just really fit his driving style at Chip Ganassi Racing. So I think Larson, we could get another Larson versus Elliott battle at a road course. We saw it at Coda, saw it at Sonoma, saw it at Watkins Glen. So I think we could see it again this weekend. I think those two will be challenging for the wins. But Elliott's the favorite, but I think Larson will definitely make it difficult for him. I saw that from the stands. We were screaming Bubba so loud. Yeah, that's awesome. I heard some fans chanting Bubba. That was cool. It was awesome from the stands. Wish I could have been down in the infield. Yeah, man, the infield, the garage, the pit area, victory lane, it was so epic. I mean, I genuinely could. I think I talked to my parents last night about it. I think I was on the phone for them about 2 hours just telling them kind of the experience, telling them like everything that happened. It was really cool. I could genuinely... If you guys let me, I genuinely can go on for like 2 hours about every single story, every single thing, just that I saw, that I experienced. It was just such a cool experience. That was us. Epic. Epic. Bubba did acknowledge the fans at some point when I was standing down there by the car. Technically behind the pit road by the car. And you could hear fans chanting Bubba. So if that was you, that was really cool. That was awesome to hear, and Bubba acknowledged you guys at some point. Also, I'll post this tomorrow in the long video, but there was a really cool moment on pit road. So Kurt Busch was walking over, he had his umbrella, and he just kind of sat on the pit wall, and there was this kid that I was standing next to, He was standing with his, I don't know, his sister and his parents or something, whatever. And this kid, he saw Kurt Busch and he recognized him, and he ran around the pit wall, or ran around, the pit box that we were at. And he went up to Kurt, tapped him on the shoulder, and he was like, "Hi." And it was really cool because, Kurt, he was like third or fourth place, and he wanted a shot at the win. I'm sure he was disappointed he didn't win. Kurt wasn't like super happy, like, "Yeah, top 5, woo." He wanted to get a win, and he wasn't mad or upset, but he was kind of like, man, we were so close, that kind of thing. But you could see in his face that he definitely wanted to win that. And this kid comes up to him, and Kurt talked to him for like a solid 5 to 10 minutes. This kid, I'm sure he was asking him questions and stuff, and Kurt, he was sitting on the pit wall with his umbrella, holding the umbrella over the kid, and he was talking to him for a solid 5 to 10 minutes. Didn't get it all on video. And then at one point, Joey Logano came up, and he talked to Kurt and this kid too. So I thought that was a really, really cool moment. And really cool of Kurt and Logano to talk to a young fan. Obviously that, I don't know who the kid was. It might have been, I don't know who it was. He was wearing a Ryan Blaney shirt, but I'm sure that kid's going to remember that for a long time. Kurt Busch and Joey Logano might have just gained a fan, So really cool to see Kurt and Joey talk to a young fan, after their days. They were so close to the win. They could have been disappointed, upset about their day, but they were willing to kind of just take a moment and talk to a kid. I don't know what they were talking about, but just to talk. And, they were smiling, talking to this kid. So really cool of Kurt and Joey. Gained a lot of respect for them right there. That was a really cool moment. Playoff standings from Larson to cutoff is only 22 points. Yeah, literally any driver except for Denny Hamlin could be eliminated this week. It's crazy. Kyle Larson could have something happen like what happened to him at Talladega in the spring where, they have a mechanical failure on lap 1. And Kyle Larson, who won the regular season championship, has 6 wins this year, could be eliminated from the playoffs in 5 days, 4 days. Math is tough. But yeah, it's crazy to think that. It's really crazy to think that. But Larson, Truex, Kyle Busch, Chase Elliott, Byron and Bowman, I think they're winner bust. Bell's not winner bust, but he's around that area. He needs a lot of help if he is going to point his way in. But he's a really good road racer, so you never know. Then Harvick's the one who's most realistic on points. He could point his way in. He's only 9 points behind. But yeah, Larson's got 22. I think Truex and Blaney both have 20 points on the gap. That's an approximation. I think Brad's got 15 or so on the gap. Joey's got 15 or so on the gap. Kyle and Chase both have 9 on the gap, and then Harvick's 9 behind. Bell's like 25 behind. Bowman, Byron must win. Denny Hamlin Championship 4. Can he finally get it done? That's the question. Let's see. See if there's any news in the NASCAR world. I feel like there hasn't been any news. Oh! Someone got suspended. Uh-oh! NASCAR has indefinitely suspended Young Motorsports number 2 truck, 02 truck. Oh my gosh, I can't read. NASCAR has indefinitely suspended Young's Motorsports number 02 truck crew chief Eddie Troconis for a non-racing violation of behavioral policy under this rule. The rule states member actions that could result in a loss of 25 to 50 driver and team owner points and or a $15,000 to $25,000 fine and or a race suspension and or a indefinite suspension or termination. Physical confrontation with a NASCAR official, media member, fans, etc. Member-to-member confrontations with physical violence. Wow. They got physical. Wow. For those of you wondering, no, I did not witness any physical confrontations or fights. There was an almost fight in the Xfinity Series between 2 drivers. One of them looked really mad like he wanted to fight someone, but the other one kind of walked away and it kind of fizzled out in like 10 seconds. I thought it was going to be a fight, and I was ready to run on pit road and get part of it, but well then. I don't know what that is, but we look up news and all of a sudden someone's getting suspended for something physical. Wow. Ooh. More puppy content on NASCAR social media. Okay. I have hot passes for the Texas race. Do you have any tips for being in the infield? I know the basics don't get in the way, but is there anything else I should know to make the experience better? Great question. So if you're in the garage, I would say just explore. I mean, genuinely, you're going to obviously, get pictures and stuff, but just kind of like soak it in, I guess. If you've got a favorite driver, if Bubba's your favorite driver, go to his garage. Just kind of scope things out. Just kind of look at the car. If they're running the engine and stuff and just kind of testing stuff, working and stuff, just kind of like look at it for a minute. Pay attention to what they're doing. Embrace it, I guess. Smell the fume, or not smell the fumes. That sounds bad, but like, just kind of like get everything into your memory, I guess. Like just like ingrained into your mind so that you can remember it a long time from now. So just try to I guess, just absorb it all. That's what I'm trying to say. The sights, the sounds, the smells, everything about it, But for sure, it's a cool experience. When they push the cars to the grid, you see your favorite drivers and crew chiefs walking around the garage area. It's really cool to see. So just, soak it in. That's the advice I have. And then obviously you said, what'd you say? For sure, I'll try to get Bubba to sign my Jordans. Yeah, if the driver's not talking to anyone or something, or you just kind of see him hanging out or something and you think that you can get in there, just say, hey, can you sign my stuff? Or, can I talk to you for a minute? Something like that. Just make a memory out of it. Whatever it may be, whatever you may want to do, just go for it, I guess. Cool. What do you think of Jennifer Jo Corncob flooring it through the big one and T-boning Parker K? Oh my gosh, dude. People were talking about that in the media center. I was in the media center when that happened. There were some opinions in that media center, let me tell you. Obviously, you read what these people write about and stuff about what happens in races, but woof, they sure do voice their opinions in the moment. I'm not going to get into any specifics, but there's some strong opinions. Yeah, it was pretty stupid. If there's a big crash in front of you and you floor it, this isn't a video game. There are people in these cars. All it takes is a bad hit to the driver's side of the door. Driver could be hurt, break their arm, break their leg, potentially worse. So I think she should be, I don't know about suspended, but definitely fined or reprimanded or something. Like, that was extremely dangerous. That was bad. That was really, really bad. Yeah, so I think some sort of punishment should be in line. I don't know if like a suspension is worthy. I don't know. But that was pretty dang dumb of Jennifer Jo Corncob. I have pre-race passes for the Texas race. Epic. I love Texas. I know it's gotten a ton of crap for the racing the past few years, and at times rightfully so, but I love Texas Motor Speedway. Grew up going to that track. It's a really fun time. Love that track. We keep eye on Chase Elliott and Kevin Harvick, those two this week. Yeah, I actually asked a couple reporters about that in the media center. It was actually after the media availability. So Chase Elliott, we had just talked to Chase Elliott during the media availabilities, and he had left because, I'm not going to ask this when he's standing right there, but I asked a couple reporters, I said, do you think the Elliott-Harvick thing, do you think that'll escalate, or do you think it'll fizzle out? And one of them said, nothing's going to happen this week. Talladega's too dangerous for something to happen, but it's going to happen when Harvick or Elliott has nothing else to lose, and they kind of just say, screw it, and screw this guy. So maybe the Roval, you know, if Harvick gets in an early wreck and he has to win to advance, but he can't because he has damage, he might hold up Elliott, do something to Elliott. Or maybe at Martinsville, if Elliott's in a must-win situation, Harvick might do something. So, or the other way around. So yeah, I thought that was a very interesting opinion. But Roval, it could happen this week. It could happen in Martinsville, Texas, Kansas, but it definitely wasn't going to happen at Talladega. Did Bubba drive his car to victory lane? Did they push it? They pushed it. So the first victory lane, the car wasn't there. They took it straight to inspection, I'm pretty sure. I could not say 100% with confidence. I didn't see them push it to inspection, but I'm assuming that's where they went. And then for the second victory lane, I did see them push the car into victory lane. So the second victory lane, the proper victory lane, they pushed it. Yeah, good questions here, people. Good questions. We've been going on for an hour. It's not felt like an hour, but yeah. Also, thank you guys, like, for, you know, I know there's like more viewers than the amount of subscribers I have, but even if you're not a subscriber, even if you don't watch my videos a ton, if you are a subscriber, you know, thank you for the past few days. You know, I've provided probably the best content in the history of this channel, if you ask me. You know, the up close contents, you know, asking Chase Elliott and Kyle Busch questions, you know, getting to ask Kyle Larson, Brad Keselowski, you'll see that tomorrow. Getting up close on pit road, on the pit wall, being in victory lane, like the video from Bubba's victory lane celebration, that those numbers have been insane for this channel. And like, so thank you for the support. And you know, like, first time in channel history we've had back-to-back videos with 100+ likes. I mean, that's a big deal for me. First time it's happened, so it's a big deal for me. Really makes me happy to see that you guys enjoyed it, to see that you guys, you know, really liked it. I mean, I can't promise you that I'm ever going to do that again, or that I'm going to do it, you know, next year. But the fact that you guys liked it, you know, gives me some sort of sign. So thank you. What did you think of the F. Joe Biden chant on Saturday? I'm hesitant to get into this. I don't like to give my political views, but so I'm not going to say anything. That's what I'm going to do. Very happy that Brandon Brown won. Very happy for him. That's what I'll say. Family team. Seems like a good guy. Very happy for Brandon Brown. He was so happy in victory lane. So happy after the race. There were a ton of drivers outside of victory lane. Tommy Joe Martins was standing outside of victory lane. He had a huge smile on his face. He was so happy for Brandon Brown. So, yeah, very happy for Brandon Brown. What was the crowd's general reaction to Bubba winning? When they called the caution at first, there was some booing. You know, they came down pit road. There was some booing from the crowd. But after it rained, after, you know, the majority of the crowd cleared out, the majority of the ones who were staying were Bubba fans. There was a Bubba chant. People were chanting Bubba. People behind the pit road wall in the fan zone were yelling, "Let it rain," you know, "Call the race. It's over. Bubba wins." So after, you know, it rained more and more, the more Bubba fans got more vocal for the race to be called and stuff. So I would say it was more positive than negative. More positive than negative. I'm trying to think of what else. Yeah, I would say more positive than negative. That's how I would describe it. Will Kyle Busch have a bad race at the radio and Roval and radio in "We're done, it's killed"? Someone's going to, like, get him arrow loose and he's going to be like, "It's done, it's killed." But he had a good run there last year before he had, like, a flat tire or something. But I think he'll do good enough to advance. I like to think so, but I don't know. It's Kyle Busch. You never know. He was probably the most intimidating guy out of all the playoff drivers for the media. Like, I'm 6'1", and Kyle Busch, he was like my eye level. And, like, he didn't smile. Like, he wasn't mad, but, you know, he was just kind of straight-faced, you know, looking at everyone. Like, he just seemed like a giant, you know. You just kind of you felt small going up next to him almost, you know. He was the most intimidating because, like, most of the drivers it's kind of surprising how small they are. You see them on TV and they make them look so big, but most of these guys are like 5'6", 5'7", 5'8", and that wasn't too surprising, but the most surprising thing, honestly, was how skinny some of these guys were outside of their fire suits. Like Denny Hamlin and Ryan Blaney, they were skinny. They were skinny fellows outside of their fire suits. So that was a big surprise. Bowman was pretty skinny. Chase Elliott was a little bit skinny. He wasn't like super skinny though. I mean, some of these guys, like, they just seem like so much smaller than you'd expect. And then Kyle Busch, he just seemed like a giant almost. But yeah, Kyle Busch was the most intimidating in the media center, I would say. Not in a bad way. He didn't say anything. He didn't tell anyone off. He was respectful, but it's just like you kind of know that Kyle Busch is Kyle Busch, that kind of thing. But yeah, I mean, thanks to those guys. I know they're not watching this, but thanks to those guys for taking time out of their day to talk to the media, to answer some 21-year-old's question for a YouTube channel kind of thing. That was cool. You enjoyed Talladega last week? I did. Fully enjoyed it. Best race weekend I have ever been to. It was a perfect weekend. It was beyond perfect. I loved it. So, yeah, major thank you to the guy who kind of ran the operations there, Russell Branham. He kind of helped me get set up with everything. I sent in an application to get credentialed. It's for a student media project at my school about someone who graduated from our school. He's a pit crew member for the 5 team. And I'm gonna post that project on the channel at some point. But yeah, I got to do a project on him, and before the race, because of COVID and stuff, he wasn't too sure. He had reached out to me. Russell Branham had reached out to me and said, do you want to interview this guy? His name is RJ Barnett. He said, do you want to interview this guy? I can help you get it set up. And I said, yeah, that'd be great. So I ended up doing a phone call with him, recording the phone call for that interview. And yeah, so I ended up following him around during the weekend, just kind of getting some footage of him doing his thing. Got to meet him, got to talk to him for about 20 minutes or so, which was really cool. I know these pit crew members, they have busy weekends. They got to move stuff around. They got to get warmed up, practice and stuff. But it was really cool that, RJ took some time just while he was just kind of doing his thing to just kind of talk to me just about NASCAR and just about him and stuff. So very thankful to him, first of all, for letting me talk to him, follow him around and stuff during the weekend. That was really cool. And then also to Russell Branham, who kind of helped me set up that interview. And then also after the race, just kind of talked to me about some stuff, and that he was really excited that someone young wanted to kind of cover NASCAR and that kind of thing. So that was really cool of him to kind of help me get set up with that. And yeah, so just a big thank you to those two. I know they're probably not watching this, but yeah, that meant a ton to me. And those two guys are a big reason why this weekend was what it was and why you guys got what you got on the channel this week. So thank those guys. How did they get Booty Barker on and off the pit box? I didn't see that. I don't know if they have like some special kind of attachment or something on the pit box, if they just kind of carry him on and off. I don't know. It's a good question. I didn't see that happen, so I don't know. That's a good question, though. Did you get to meet Logano? I did not. At the time that Logano walked in, I was with Bell. I didn't have a question for Christopher Bell, just 100% honest. I was standing looking right at him, and other reporters were asking him questions. I didn't have anything. It was the same thing with Byron. I didn't have a question for Byron, but Logano was standing over there. So I saw him, but no, I did not. I didn't get to talk to him, but I saw him. So yeah, the guys who I asked questions to were Larson, Brad Keselowski, Kyle Busch, and Chase Elliott. Those were the 4 that I asked questions to. Bowman was the first one to come in, and I kind of got a feel for how everything went. Do you raise your hand like in school? Do you just kind of shout out your questions? Like, how does this work? At first, they kind of had 2 groups of media to set up, but and and the drivers would rotate. So, you know, Bowman went to group 1 and then he came to us in group 2. And I was on the far right side of group 2 and I was outside of the bubble of kind of guys asking questions. And so I was like, I guess I'm not going to get a question with Bowman. But Elliott was over there and I was like, maybe he'll come over to me, you know, somewhat close to me. And I guess the way they'd been doing it before is they lined up one by one. Driver goes up to each person, gets their questions. And so they send Elliott to group 2 and I'm expecting him to walk by me and stuff. I have a question in mind and I'm like, all right, gonna ask this question, it's gonna be great. And he walks like straight up and just stands right in front of me and I was like, oh, okay, that wasn't supposed to happen. You were supposed to keep going, but question, you got an answer? And he answered it, gave me a good answer. I was super happy, you know, like, you know, I had a ton of people in my group that were like big names. You know, Bob Pockers was in that group. I think Jenna Fryer was in the group. And, you know, he comes over. I was the first one in group 2. And he comes up, stands right in front of me. And I was like, question time. Let's do this. What's up? So I was just kind of like, I think the most shocking thing, you know, I wasn't like, you know, like, oh, I don't know what to ask you. Like stumbling on my words. But I was just shocked that, like, I was the first one he came up to. So yeah, like that was like kind of shocking. But then after that, they gave up on the rotations. Then they just said, hey, go to whichever driver you need to talk to. And so at that point, it was a free-for-all, and I just kind of rotated. I went to Kyle Busch because at that point, there were 4 other drivers standing up, and they had everyone around him. Kyle Busch walks in, and there's only one. I think it was just Jeff Gluck with him. And so I went up to Kyle when Jeff Gluck got done asking his question, asked him a question. Brad had no one near him, and I was like, I can't just stare at him awkwardly. I'm going to go ask him a question. So I went and asked Brad a question. Then Larson, I wanted to get something from Larson on RJ Barnett to see if he would say anything. And so after a couple of guys got done asking Larson questions, I asked him a question there. But yeah, it was really cool. Kyle Busch is just Kyle Busch, even though I'm not a fan of him. Yeah, I mean, like I saw a comment on the video I posted of him that said, oh, Kyle Busch is so disrespectful to reporters. And he wasn't. You know, he was a really, you know, I know for a fact that's the first time he's ever seen me, and I'm 21 years old, and I think I look 21 years old. So, you know, some kid walks up to him in the media center and starts asking him a question. He's probably like, what's this kid doing here? And he treated me with respect like I was a long-time journalist and, you know, late in my career. And so, you know, I really appreciated that. He thoroughly answered my question. He engaged with me. He made eye contact with me, shook his head, answered the question. So, yeah, tons of respect for those guys, you know. I know they're obligated to do it and stuff, but, you know, the fact that they still show the respect, they make eye contact with you, they answer your question and stuff, you know, it meant a lot to me at least. So, yeah, that was cool. Especially the same thing as Kevin Harvick, even though that there was issues with him and Chase Elliott. From all the drivers you interviewed, how would you say their personalities were just from talking to them? I mean, it's about what you see on TV and interviews. I mean, that's basically all I got. I didn't get to, like, you know, open up a Pepsi or something like a cold bottle of water, PG-13 YouTube channel here. But, you know, I didn't get to, you know, hang out with them for a long period of time. I had 15 minutes with them in media. So, you know, I didn't really get to know them or get to know their personalities, but it's about what you see on TV. Bowman's once again, I think Bowman's one of the underrated personalities in NASCAR. He's got some jokes. He's kind of funny. Sometimes he's a bit awkward, but it's a funny awkward. Chase Elliott's pretty straightforward. Just kind of, you know, answers his questions, is about what you expect. And Kyle Busch is Kyle Busch. Says some pretty quotable things. Brad Keselowski, you know, is Brad Keselowski. I mean, that's how they are. I don't know how else to say it, but it's about what you would expect with them. What you see on TV, that's what they're like with with what they were with the media. Has it sunk in that you got to visit in person, be credentialed to witness Bubba's first win, the breaking in the McDonald's? Yeah, that's a really good question. I think it's definitely, the Bubba's first win thing is definitely sunk in because, I mean, I've gone back on my camera roll and I've watched all those videos from Victory Lane and stuff probably 30 times. I've looked at the pictures. On Twitter, I've been posting the pictures and videos nonstop. I mean, like, for my first ever credentialed race to be that one, you know, if it was at Texas and, you know, Kevin Harvick or Kyle Busch won, it would have been cool, but it would have been like, well, we saw that coming. Like, this is like a historic win. First time in 60 years that an African-American driver wins. Bubba's first career win with everything that's happened to him at Talladega. You know, McDonald's breaks the curse. The last race of the Gen 6 at a super speedway, I wasn't even thinking about that, so that hasn't sunk in yet, I guess. So it's just like so much to process, and you know, if it was just me looking at it, trying to get the memories, like that helps out a ton. You know, I'm going to have those memories for a long time. Like, you know, fist bumping Bubba Wallace on the way to victory lane after his first career win, that's something I'm never going to forget. You know, congratulating him on a win, like as I was there, like not just, you know, tweeting him at Bubba Wallace, hey, good job on the win. Like actually, you know, walking into victory lane next to him and giving him a fist bump and saying congratulations and him responding, thanks, man. That's something that's going to stick with me for a while as the first time I was ever credentialed, first time I was ever in victory lane for a race. That's going to stick with me for a while. And, you know, some of the stuff that I may forget about, I've got on my phone. I've got tons of videos and pictures of it to remember it. So, yeah, really cool. So to say, has it sunk in yet? I would say a good chunk of it has, but I'm sure there's more that's going to kick in throughout the week, throughout the rest of the year. Honestly, it hasn't been a great year for me personally, you know, outside of NASCAR. But that was the best weekend I've had personally in quite a while. So it was really cool. I'm not even kidding. I could go on for hours about what I witnessed this weekend. I mean, we've already talked for over an hour so far, and you know, I mean, I'm serious. I could just go on for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. You know, I mean, as I said earlier, I talked to my parents for a couple of hours last night just about everything that happened this weekend. So yeah, I mean, it was really cool, really, really cool. And, you know, I was going through Getty Images today, and they released all the pictures. And, you know, most of the pictures I've seen, like of Bubba celebrating on the pit box, all you can see is about from this far up. So my hand and my wrist of me kind of filming it. But finally, I found a picture where you can see, like, more than just my hand. You can actually see, like, my face. It's blurry, but you can see my face, my shirt, me holding up a camera. And so I got that. I'm probably going to make that my Twitter picture at some point. But, you know, it's like there's a picture from victory lane of Bubba with his champagne bottle celebrating. And I'm there in the background, there in victory lane. Like, that's so cool. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's really freaking cool. Really freaking cool. This year, NASCAR is so crazy. Yeah, NASCAR has been crazy. Bubba Wallace wins. AJ Allmendinger wins. Michael McDowell wins. Christopher Bell gets his first win. Hendrick Motorsports is back. Kyle Larson comes back from his suspension and his issues, and he's freaking kicking everyone's butt this year. It's insane. Kevin Harvick and Denny Hamlin, at one point, they were winless after dominating last year. I mean, it's been crazy. Did you get to pet Asher? Oh, I wish I did. He was such a cute doggy. Puppy dogs are so cute. But no, he was on the other side of victory lane. So I didn't get to pet him. If he ran over, though, I would have given him a hug. I would have gotten down and been like, oh my God, puppy dog, and pet him. But he never came over. He got excited, but he was also kind of nervous. There was a lot of people there. There was a lot of cameras flashing. You could tell Asher was a little bit nervous, but once Bubba started to get excited, it was like, ah! Asher got excited, and but no, I did not get to pet Asher, but that would have been cool if he, like, you know, comes over just straight over and everyone gets to pet him, but that wasn't the case. But I was still really happy to be a part of that moment, to see Bubba celebrate with Asher. That was one of the coolest videos I've got on this channel on my phone. That was so cool to see that. It is pouring. It's been, so I live like an hour away from Talladega. It has been pouring the last 2 days. So if they didn't get 94 laps in on Monday, we would have been looking at a Thursday race. I kid you not. Did you make a playoff bracket this year? I did. I made a video about it. In September, like the first week of September, I would have to go through my channel. It's It's somewhere around there. So if you can find the playoff race at Darlington, the playoff opener, and just go a little bit past that, it's somewhere down there. Or I could save you the stress and look for it myself. I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to save you the stress and look for it myself. So let's go my channel, videos. Oh yeah, also thanks for 1,400 subscribers. Gained a lot in the past few days. Obviously, those last 3 videos of Bubba's celebration have got a ton of views, ton of likes, so thank you for that. I'm really glad you guys are enjoying that. And also the other videos from this weekend, Brandon Brown's win, Tate Fogelman's win, the interview with Chase Elliott, Kyle Busch, the pit wall from Kyle Larson. Really glad you guys are enjoying that. But let's see here. Full playoff predictions. I gotta click on it, don't I? All right. We gotta share it. How do you copy a link? Oh, there it is. Copy link. Close that tab. All right, hold on. I'm doing this just for you, Steph22. My full playoff predictions. A lot of them are already wrong. Like, I made some really bold predictions that I regretted, like, literally right off the bat. You'll see what I mean. I thought it could have happened, but it didn't. Okay. Is there going to be one last shocker before the season is over? And if so, what would it be? If there was going to be a shocker, I don't think it would be a winner, like a first-time winner or a shocking winner or something. I think if there is going to be a shocking thing, it's going to be like last year where the 2 guys who have dominated this year don't win the championship. I think if anything's going to be shocking for the rest of the year, that would be it. So basically, Larson and Hamlin, they've dominated this year. If neither of them win it, this system sucks. It already sucks. It screwed so many guys out of championships. I could go on and on about it. But, yeah, that would be the most shocking thing that I think would remain. So, and if someone were to do it, it would be Truex. Truex, Kyle Busch, Chase Elliott. But, if someone like Brad wins, or, trying to think. Like Christopher Bell wins. Look, I like the guy, but in no way does he deserve the championship. Sorry, Christopher Bell fans, but no. So that's, if there's going to be a shocker, it's going to be that Larson and Hamlin don't win the championship, which under this format is extremely possible, which is extremely stupid. Don't get me started. I'm already started, but we're going to change the subject. This might be the beginning of a Kyle Larson collapse, more like a slow collapse now. I mean, if it was going to be a collapse, it would be right now. It'd be a quick collapse because of Talladega and stuff, and, something happens at the Roval. But I don't see that happening. I see them getting through fine. I see them surviving the Roval fine. And because there can't be a slow collapse at this point. Everything would have to be quick. Even if he gets out of this round, he's got 60 freaking playoff points. So it would take a very major quick collapse like Harvick last year. I mean, Harvick finished second in the opening race in the round of 8 and got eliminated with all those playoff points. That's basically what it would take Larson to do. It would take a major quick collapse. So I don't see a slow collapse happening. It would take a major quick one. I've seen NASCAR races in person, but I've never got a chance to. I'm going to reread this. I've seen NASCAR races in person, but I've never got a chance to. I think I'm confused. I'm confused. How big is a Cup car in person? Okay, you meant to say I've never got a chance to see one up close. Okay, now I get what you're saying. Sorry about that. They're short. They're extremely short. They're extremely low to the ground. It's not like, a Chevy Camaro. They're low to the ground, but like these things are like that close off the ground. The spoilers at super speedways are huge. They're just super short. I mean, they're low to the ground. They're right on the ground. I mean, I don't know how to describe it. I guess you just gotta experience it. I guess. I mean, I don't really know how to describe it, to be honest with you. Yeah. I don't know. That's a good question, though. But short and low to the ground. That's what we'll go with. And colorful. Very colorful. Like William Byron's paint scheme, when you're like 3 feet away from it, beautiful car. Amazing looking car. Kyle Larson's Cincinnati car, that was a great looking car. Chase Elliott's A-Shock car, great looking car. I'm a Hendrick Motorsports fan. I literally just went through 3 of the 4 Hendrick Motorsports cars. Wow, my bias is showing. All right, let's go to non-Hendrick cars. The McDonald's car, Bubba car, that was a great looking car. Kyle Busch's M&M's car, everyone's seen it a million times, but that's always a beautiful car. Kurt Busch's car was nice and simple. Kevin Harvick's car would look really, really nice. I'll tell you what, that orange and kind of camo-ish look with the Busch beer, that was a really good look. Yeah, those are just a few. At the beginning of the race, what are those huge things that the cars are plugged up to at the beginning of the race? Usually the car has a cover on it and it's plugged up. That's a good question. I think it's something like, if I had to guess, something to cool the engine, just to keep the engine temperatures normal, whatever they want the temperatures to be. Don't take my word for it. This is a complete guess, but because I know what you're talking about, but if I had to guess, something with the engine, and then they check the tire pressures a lot. Like, they check the tire pressures a lot. And then as for the car covers, that's just for the rain. Or just to keep the cockpit nice and cool, to cover up the cockpit so the driver doesn't get in and it's scorching hot already. What was your favorite paint scheme in every series? So for Cup, it's got to be one of the Hendrick Motorsports. I really liked Larson's Cincinnati, Elliott's A-Shock, Byron's Exalta. Those were 3 great looking cars. Bubba's McDonald's was a great looking car. We'll go Larson's Cincinnati. I like that car on TV already, but to see it up close and in person was really, really nice. The American flag touch was really cool. You think you'll get credentials from having your YouTube channel and get to do this again? That's a good question. Because I got this because of my school, basically. When I applied and when I wrote the application, I did it through my school. And the reason being because I'm going to interview a guy that graduated from my school and stuff. So, you know, it doesn't hurt to apply. I mean, the worst they can say is no. And I've got experience with credentials now. I wouldn't be going in as a rookie. Or I guess, I don't know what you consider a rookie, but, you know, I've done it before and I didn't get kicked out, fired, arrested. And I think I put a positive spin on NASCAR. So, I mean, potentially they could say yes to me. So, I don't think it would hurt me to apply with my channel. I feel like I've got a decent following. You know, obviously nowhere near as big as like an Eric Estep or anything like that. But I've got over 1,000 followers. I've posted a lot of content. I've been doing this for a few years now. I think I could very well. Sure. But yeah, I'm probably going to apply again for next spring, if I can. My favorite playoff NASCAR 2006. Who won in 06? Jimmy won in 06. That was his first. How big are pit crew guys in person? They are big. So the guy I actually was interviewing and kind of talking to and followed throughout the weekend, he was like still like, you know, he was built. He was physically built because, you know, he's trained. He's a professional athlete. He's trained. He's built. But he was smaller, like height wise, compared to the other ones. But there were some big fellas, really tall, jacked, like 6'4", 6'5" guys. So there were some big dudes on these pit crews. Let me tell you. Hello, Weeb Racer. How you doing? But yeah, for sure, there were some big pit crew members. How is that, like Houston, short for Houston? Doesn't the NBA start in like 2 weeks? Oh gosh, I forgot about that. Hoy? Is that like pirate talk? Like, yo hoy, matey? Sorry, I'm trying to interpret that. I don't know. I hope you get the chance to visit every racetrack. Outside of the races you've been to, what other tracks would you like to see in person? Incredible question. So I've been to Talladega, obviously. I've been to Texas, Coda, Watkins Glen, Pocono, Charlotte. Those are all the places. Well, I got low battery. Lovely. Those are the places I've been to. I'd love to go to Bristol, Martinsville, Darlington, Daytona. Those are probably the top 4. Sonoma, that's another one. So yeah, I'd say those. We're going to wrap this up in 5 minutes just because, as I said, I could go on and on, but my phone's about to die. That's why I'm live streaming on. And I don't want you guys to be shocked when it ends because my phone dies, but yeah. Texas Motor Speedway, Daytona, and Talladega. Talladega is an amazing experience. I did the garage experience as a fan a couple years ago, and it was amazing. It was perfect. That was before COVID. Everything went great. It's a great experience. Texas, I love Texas Motor Speedway. I grew up going to races there. Great facility, great people there. So I love Texas too. The racing may not be as good as Talladega, but it's great. Goodbye, Evan. Have a good day. Or I guess it's night already. Have a great rest of your night. Can you tell me about Watkins Glen, things to do, places to go? I've been to Sonoma, great experience, about an hour plus from San Francisco, so I stayed there until going to Sonoma for the race. Watkins Glen, my dad and I just went up for the Sunday race, and Sonoma's just, or not Sonoma, Watkins Glen's just a really nice area. It was a bit hot that day, but it was still a really nice area. Lots of trees, beauty, nature, really nice area. But it's a unique racetrack for fans. They got a bridge that goes over the last turn, the front stretch, and you go into the infield area, but anyone can go in there because then it's a matter of pit passes and stuff. But you get to go to the fan zone and stuff. There's some areas you can buy tickets to and go, like we saw Carl Edwards speak for a bit, and they got a cool fan zone outside the track, and it's just a really pretty area, but it's difficult to see a lot depending on where you sit because there are a lot of trees and it's a road course, but it's a pretty neat track. As for around the area outside of the racetrack, we didn't really go anywhere. We stayed at a hotel about an hour down the road and went straight back to the hotel after the race, so I couldn't tell you about outside the racetrack, but the racetrack, it's a great facility, a great area around the racetrack itself. Beautiful scenery, kind of like if you're sitting in the grandstand, you just see a beautiful kind of layout. We were on the front stretch, so that was cool. I love how I finally figured out how to put my logo on the bottom right corner, and now I can see it. Now no one can steal my stuff because the majority of my channel is just me sitting here and talking. If someone steals that, woo, man, what am I gonna do? But yeah. Currently going to college in Birmingham, Alabama. Great stuff. But I'm from the Dallas area in Texas. Yep, Texas is the home state. What do you think of the rumors that the 23 is the old LFR 95 car? After LFR shut down, they gave their cars back to Toyota because Spire, who bought them, was a Chevy team. I 100% believe that. That 2311 is basically Levine Family Racing this year. The way they've been performing, the way it's a first-year team. I mean, that was Levine Family Racing last year. They ran 15th to 23rd. Most of the time, and every once in a while they'd have a great run, get a top 5, get a top 10, but they didn't win. 2311 has won, so I think they're using old equipment this year from Levine Family Racing, and that they will have their own new fancy equipment next year with next gen car. Yep, that makes sense. But let's see. All right. I'm going to call it. That is going to be it for this live stream. It's been an hour and a half. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. But yes, thoroughly enjoyed it. Once again, I could have gone on and on about, this race weekend, what I got to experience. I shared some of it with you. Some of the highlights, getting to fist bump Bubba, congratulate him on the way into victory lane, getting to be on the pit wall for the race, getting to be in victory lane, getting to see all this exciting stuff. It's probably the best race weekend I've ever been to. One of the coolest things I've ever got to experience in my life. I'm glad I got to share it with you guys. And I'm glad we got to do this live stream, just kind of talk about it. So yeah, once again, I could have gone on forever, but unfortunately my phone battery does not have forever. So we got to call it a night. I hope you guys have a great rest of your night. Once again, tomorrow morning I will upload the Xfinity and Trucks. I don't even know if I'm going to call it a vlog, because I didn't walk around with the camera like, hey, look at this. I just kind of did the sights and sounds. So that video will be tomorrow morning. Tomorrow night will be the Cup Series days. And yeah, look forward to seeing you there. I am very behind on comments. I'm going to go through those, but have a great rest of your night.